Beneath the marble grandeur and sunlit piazzas of Vatican City, a vast subterranean world remains shrouded in secrecy. The Vatican Apostolic Archive, formerly known as the Secret Archive, is not just a collection of dusty manuscripts and ancient codices. It is a fortress of knowledge, its shelves stretching for over 50 miles, housing more than 35,000 volumes, and its history woven into the very fabric of Western civilization. Here, in silence and shadow, lie the stories, confessions, and mysteries that have shaped the Church, the world, and perhaps the fate of humanity itself. To understand the mystery of the Vatican archives, one must first grasp the nature of the institution that created them. The Roman Catholic Church is not merely a religious body. For 2 millennia, it has stood as an arbiter of faith, a patron of the arts, a mediator between kingdoms, and at times, a power that rivaled empires. Its reach extended across continents, influencing rulers, inspiring revolutions, and preserving, sometimes rewriting, the chronicles of human history. In times of war and peace, the Church has gathered secrets, brokered deals, and shielded truths, all under the sacred promise of confession and the veil of divine authority. The formal establishment of the Vatican Archives in 1612 by Pope Paul V was a declaration. The Church's memory would be preserved, but only on its terms. While scholars are granted limited access today, the rules are strict. Only those with specific credentials and research topics are admitted. And even then, vast sections remain forbidden. No casual browsing, no cameras, no prying eyes. Behind these locked doors, the past is curated, selectively revealed, carefully guarded. So, what treasures and terrors might be hidden in this labyrinth of parchment and ink? What truths are so volatile that generations of popes, cardinals, and scholars have sealed them away from the world? It is no surprise that such secrecy has spawned a legion of speculations, some scholarly, some fantastical. The confirmed contents of the archives are already astonishing. The trial transcript of Galileo, letters exchanged with Michelangelo, diplomatic dispatches from the world's most powerful monarchs, and records chronicling the Church's dealings during some of history's most tumultuous periods. Yet, it is the rumored documents, the forbidden, the suppressed, the unimaginable, that capture the world's imagination. Among the most persistent whispers are claims that the Vatican guards original, unedited Gospels, texts that may challenge the very foundations of Christian belief. The Bible as we know it is the product of centuries of selection, translation, and theological wrangling. The Council of Nicaea in 325 AD marked a critical turning point, establishing orthodoxy and relegating divergent teachings to the margins. But what if scrolls exist, buried deep in the archive, that tell a different story? Some speculate that these lost Gospels present Jesus not as a divine savior, but as a radical philosopher, a political dissenter, or even a mystic, whose teachings were later transformed by those seeking power. If such texts exist, their release would reverberate through the world, forcing billions to confront new questions about faith, history, and identity. Then, there is the tantalizing suggestion of extraterrestrial contact. Strange medieval artwork, some of it held within Vatican vaults, depicts heavenly beings and celestial objects that bear a striking resemblance to modern interpretations of flying saucers and UFOs. Ancient astronaut theorists propose that the Church, in controlling the narrative of creation and human destiny, may have suppressed evidence of encounters with non-human intelligences. Could there be letters, drawings, or testimonies from early saints or missionaries that describe inexplicable visitors from the stars? If so, these records would not only rewrite religious history, but challenge our entire understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos. Perhaps the most extraordinary claim is that of the chronovisor, a device said to have been invented by Father Pellegrino Ernetti, a Benedictine monk and scientist, in the mid-20th century. According to Ernetti's account, this machine could peer through the veil of time, displaying past events like a living tableau. Ernetti reportedly witnessed scenes from ancient Rome, the crucifixion of Christ, and even long-lost theatrical performances. The chronovisor, so the story goes, was deemed too dangerous to exist and was dismantled, its blueprints hidden in the Vatican's depths. No physical evidence of the device has ever surfaced, but the legend persists, fueled by the Church's enduring secrecy and humanity's fascination with time. The notion of Jesus' bloodline, a lineage preserved in secret hidden from the world, has captivated writers and conspiracy theorists alike. Popularized by works like the Da Vinci Code, the idea draws on older traditions and scattered references in apocryphal texts. Some researchers believe that the Vatican possesses genealogical records, correspondence, or even relics that support the theory of a hidden royal bloodline descending from Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Such a revelation would not only challenge church doctrine, but threaten to disrupt centuries of theological consensus, shifting the narrative from divine intervention to earthly inheritance. Equally intriguing are the rumors of forbidden knowledge, occult manuscripts, grimoires, and the spiritual wisdom of rival traditions. Throughout its long history, the Church confronted and often absorbed the beliefs of Druids, Gnostics, Hermeticists, and mystics from Babylon to Alexandria. While official accounts claim that heretical texts were burned, some suggest that the most potent and dangerous writings were preserved, locked away for study, control, or perhaps even used by a select few. These could include prophecies, ritual instructions, and maps to ancient sites of power, knowledge that, in the wrong hands, might threaten the balance of the world. But why, after so many centuries, does the Vatican continue to guard its secrets so fiercely? According to insiders and former clergy, the answer lies in the Church's role as a stabilizing force. In a world defined by uncertainty, faith offers comfort, order, and meaning. To reveal that foundational narratives were myths, allegories, or deliberate fabrications could trigger a crisis of belief, not just for the faithful, but for the fabric of society itself. Kings and emperors have risen and fallen. Nations have been born and destroyed. But the Church has endured, perhaps because it alone holds the keys to truths too dangerous to see the light. Yet, there are those who suggest that the real secrets of the Vatican go beyond historical revisionism or the suppression of inconvenient facts. Some propose that the archives contain evidence of alternate timelines, interdimensional contact, or technologies so advanced they appear magical. Others hint at the existence of artifacts, relics from lost civilizations, fragments of prophecy, or devices from a time beyond memory. If any of this is true, then the Vatican's secrecy is not just a matter of politics, but of cosmic significance. In recent years, the Church has taken cautious steps toward transparency. Select documents, mostly diplomatic or administrative, have been released to scholars, shedding light on everything from the Church's role in World War II to its diplomatic dealings with distant empires. These revelations, while valuable, barely scratch the surface of the archive's vast holdings. Requests for access to theological, esoteric, or controversial materials are routinely denied. The excuse is always the same: to protect the integrity of the Church and the faith of its followers. But the world is changing. In an age of information, secrets are harder to keep. Whistleblowers, hackers, and investigators press ever closer to the hidden heart of the Vatican. Each new revelation, no matter how minor, sparks speculation, debate, and sometimes outrage. For every document released, 100 more are rumored to exist, each with the potential to change history. What would happen if the walls finally came down? If the world gained unrestricted access to the Vatican's deepest vaults, would we find confirmation of our wildest theories? Or would the truth prove even more elusive, buried beneath centuries of intrigue, translation, and deliberate obfuscation? Perhaps the greatest secret of all is the nature of secrecy itself. The Vatican's archives are more than a repository of documents. They are a reminder of the enduring human need to control, protect, and sometimes hide the truth. In their shadows, we see our own fears and desires reflected. The hope that history can be understood, the terror that it cannot, and the suspicion that those in power always know more than they let on. Until the day comes when the vaults are thrown open and the world can judge for itself, we are left with rumors, half-truths, and the tantalizing possibility that somewhere, deep beneath the stones of Rome, the answers to our oldest questions are waiting. The secrets of the Vatican may be locked in darkness, but the search for truth is eternal. In the end, the story of the Vatican Archives is the story of humanity's quest for knowledge and the costs of knowing too much. It is a tale of ambition and humility, faith and doubt, revelation and concealment. For some, the Church's secrecy is a betrayal of its mission. For others, it is a necessary bulwark against chaos. But for all of us, it is a mystery. A reminder that, even in an age of reason, some doors remain closed, and some truths, perhaps, are better left undisturbed. Yet the allure of forbidden knowledge cannot be denied. The very act of hiding something implies its power, the possibility that, if known, it could change everything. That is why the Vatican Archives will continue to fascinate and frustrate, to inspire dreams and nightmares, to provoke questions that may never be answered. What are they hiding? Lost gospels, alien encounters, time machines, royal bloodlines, occult wisdom. Each theory reflects a different fear, a different hope, a different piece of the puzzle. Perhaps the true danger lies not in the secrets themselves, but in our willingness to believe that knowledge alone can save us or doom us. As long as the Vatican's vaults remain sealed, the only certainty is uncertainty. The shadows lengthen, the whispers grow, and the world waits for a key, a sign, a revelation that may never come. Until then, the secrets of the Vatican remain locked in darkness, and the greatest mystery of all endures. Not what is hidden, but why it is hidden, and what that tells us about the Church, the world, and ourselves. In the quiet corridors beneath Vatican City, history sleeps. Some say it dreams. And somewhere, perhaps, between the pages of an ancient parchment and the silence of a sealed vault, the truth waits, patient, eternal, and forever out of reach.